in terms of those seeking refuge in this country. So the idea that we would act in such an awful way to asylum seekers is beyond what I would call British values. Now we know that the media, and particularly politicians, continue to blame those who have no thought for their circumstance, for the situations that they have in this country, but all of those awful austerity policies that we have seen blamed on migrants, blamed on refugees, for all political choices. It is not true that there are too many people coming into this country. It is a lie, and it's important that we stand up to those myths that are being peddled, but most importantly, that we continue to stand up and support refugees. Now today we are going to see some, awful displays again of fascism down the other side. But again, I feel that hope because I know that no matter what happens, there are so many proud anti-fascists like you, and people right across this country also feel that hope. So thank you, and no matter what happens, please continue to stand up to racism and continue to stand up to fascism. Thank you.
Woo! Thank you so much, Belle. Thank you so much for being an MP that stands with the anti-racist movement. Okay, over to our next speaker. Our next speaker is from the Fire Brigade Union. The FBU are here today like they have been on every anti-racist struggle. So a massive round of applause for Amit from the FBU, and a massive round of applause for the FBU as well.
Thank you. It's amazing from this stage. I can see so many people, so many colours, so many banners. It looks brilliant. So we're all here today to oppose a dangerous new form of an old enemy shortly after the worst peacetime disorder this country has experienced. Instead of being ashamed by their actions that week, they're out again, emboldened and somehow aggrieved. They claim they aren't racist, but they're just out defending British values. When I look at this crowd, and I see the people here, it's us that uphold the virtues that make this place great. Kindness, openness, community, and love. Not hostility, hate, aggression, and violence. They claim they aren't far right, but just decent people that have had enough. But amongst their ranks, they have overt racists who reject facts and compassion to embrace a hateful rhetoric against vulnerable minority groups. We'll hear laughable claims that they're the victims of two-tier policing, a myth sold to them by a cowardly criminal begging for donations. This comes after them rejecting the same verifiable fact from the BLM movement that young black men are disproportionately targeted by the police now and historically. They claim it's only a certain people, a specific group, that they're against, the most vulnerable in society. But as we saw during the riots, that loosely fitting mask quickly slipped. We saw unprovoked attacks against people of all backgrounds, a lone black man walking through the park, a car of Eastern European men. But most disturbingly, following disinformation in their echo chamber, an immediate and sustained attack against asylum seekers who had nothing to do with the tragic event in July. And most troubling, not just for my comrades in the fire service, but for all of us in society, was the attempt to set fire to the exits in hotels housing migrants, which would have placed our friends and colleagues in a dangerous situation, let alone the grave risk to those housed, the innocent people housed within there. So we're standing here today to send a clear message. We will not tolerate this. We cannot allow a repeat of the scenes from this summer. Just as we stood united on the streets in August, we're here again today to show them we will not allow them and their fringe extremist ideals to be the prominent voice in Britain. No matter the numbers they have today on the streets, we represent the voice of the majority. And that voice says hate is not welcome here or anywhere. It never has been. And as long as we continue to resist, it never will be. Thank you.
Thank you. Hate is not welcome here. I'm going to introduce our next speaker that needs really no introduction. Louis Rowe, author, historian, and activist. Please give a warm welcome.
Thank you. Hello, you little darlings. It's great to see you. But I have got a bone to pick with some of you. Some of you have been laughing at Tommy Robinson being arrested. You know who you are. A man has lost his liberty. And if I can't get you to be empathetic any other way, look at this tragic sight. Look at his mugshot. Look at his sad eyes. I mean, okay, you can't see his eyes because they're a bit further down, but they're really sad, okay? Now, this man, this little man, is one of the greatest Englishmen to ever hold an Irish passport, live in Spain, and volunteer to fight for Israel, okay? Just remember that. Remember that. And Tommy Robinson is a great supporter of women. Did you know? No, I know, me neither. They tend to stalk me and dox me and insult me, but they do it caringly, which is what matters. Some of you younger women, you're in for a great opportunity. They're hoping to breed. The far right are hoping to breed because they're very worried about the great replacement. I looked that up. It just means they can't get laid and they're blaming Muslims. It does. I'm not sure it's the fault of Muslims. I think on this one, lads, the call is coming from inside the house. I think it's closer to home. Nobody wants a baby that's 2/3 Stella and 1/3 cocaine and hatred, do they? Like, they just don't. They really just don't. But they do care about children. This is really important. They always tell us they care about children, right? We've all heard them say, the kids, we care about the kids. Well, I'm a member of a group called Survivors Against Fascism. We're all women who were sexually abused in childhood. So if that was true, I'd be all for it. However, again, the facts rather belie this. Some of you know we keep a list of far-right sex offenders. Since I last spoke to you, which was only a few weeks ago, it's got a lot longer. It's a full-time job, keeping up with this list of, as I like to call them, Nazi nonces. Last time it was at 70. Today, we are at 99. In fact, I think as I came in, it's become 100. 100 recently convicted, which is a very low percentage, right? So there's thousands and thousands more out of them. I think that's why Tommy's in jail. He's just gone in there because it's where all his mates are, don't you think? Shout out to all the women who helped to organise this. Sabi Darlu, Samira Ali, Jo Cardwell, and many, many more who helped turn around fascist riots to this beautiful autumn harvest, if you will, of anti-fascism. It's wonderful to see. And shout out to all the girls and women here. Shout out to all my survivor family here. Shout out to all of you. Thank you for coming.
Woo! Okay. So Tommy Robinson and the fascists that he hangs around with want to bring back Nazis onto the streets of Britain. They want to bring back the things like the horrors of the Holocaust. That's what they represent, and we can't forget it. And when I talk about that and the struggles against the Holocaust at the time and the racism that persists in society today, the struggles by Gypsy, Roma and traveller communities is so important, and that's why I am so happy to welcome our next speaker, who is Jake Bowers from Drive to Survive.
Lovely, thank you. What a beautiful sight it is to see you all in all your different colours. And I brought my colours here today because it's important that we all nail our flag, our colours to the mast of fighting fascism. This is the Romani flag. It's got a few hedgehogs on it. Right, but behind it, you can see our colours, which is blue for the sky, green for the earth, and the red wheel, which shows that we came all the way from India. Now, what a lot of people don't know about our people, thank you, there's an Indian down there. What a lot of people don't know about our people is 1.5 million Gypsy Romani people were killed by the fascists in the Second World War. And scumbags like Tommy Robinson would have you forget that that happened. They would even deny that it happened, that there was a systematic attempt to wipe out my people from the face of this earth. So that's why I'm here today, to stand with my black and brown and gay and disabled brothers and sisters who were also subjected to that genocide. There was a woman, a Romani survivor of Auschwitz, and she said when she came out, her name is Saya Stoika, she was an amazing artist. She said, what I want all people to know is that Auschwitz is only sleeping. So by coming up here today, you're reminding people of the fact that fascism and Nazism is alive, but it can be stamped out. I haven't only come here from the gypsy community, I've come here from Hastings, and when they try to come out on that Wednesday night in Hastings at a lawyer's place, there were 10 fascists there, and there were 300 people from Hastings. And that's what we got to do today. Because Stoica was right. Auschwitz is only sleeping. And so we march down to Whitehall. And if we see those scumbags at the other end of the street, I'm not saying you should be violent, we should all be non-violent. But our mission here today is to ensure that Auschwitz is sleeping for good. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm so happy to introduce our next speaker. We know that the anti-racist movement and the anti-fascist movement is also the anti-war movement and needs to be anti-racist. Let me introduce our next speaker, Lindsay German from the Stop the War Coalition.
Thank you very much, and congratulations to everybody who's here today, and congratulations to the organisers of this tremendous march, because we have to stand up to racism wherever it takes its form. And what we've always said, when you have war abroad, you will have racism at home. We said it over the Iraq War. That was a colonial war where they killed more than 1 million Iraqis. And we say it again over Gaza today, where tens of thousands of people have been killed, many more displaced, over 1 million Lebanese displaced. And if they want to wage war abroad, they have to demonise and dehumanise the people that they're attacking. And that is why we have seen a massive wave of Islamophobia in the last 2 decades, connected to the war on terror, connected to the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq, and connected to what Israel is doing now in the Middle East, because this is targeted as a clash of civilizations, and it's something that the far right are able to incorporate in their ideology. They see Zionism as part of the far right ideology today. That is why Tommy Robinson wears IDF t-shirts. It's why they talk all the time. They have Israeli flags on their demonstrations, as they will have today. And therefore, we need to be clear that this is the core ideology of the far right, not just in Britain, but internationally today, because they want to attack Muslims in any way that they can. And therefore, Tommy Robinson is swimming in the same swamp of Islamophobia that you see in Israel, that you see with Trump in the United States, that you see across the board. And there is a real danger for us here, because the right wing in Britain, the far right, is coalescing, if you like, politically. There's a regroupment of the far right. Look at Tommy Robinson, look at Farage, look at Badenoch and Jenrick, one of whom is going to be the leader of the Tory party. They all espouse hate, they all attack refugees, they all attack Muslims, and they all support Israel. And we have to oppose them on all of those grounds. And when we say that we fight racism, we need to be absolutely clear that we have to organise. But it's not just about here. If we want to be consistently anti-racist, we have to be against the racism that is the ethnic cleansing of the people of northern Gaza today. We have to be against what is going on there, because racism isn't just a domestic issue. When we say it comes here, it means we don't just fight the racism here. We fight it in Iraq, we fight it in Gaza, we fight it in Lebanon, and we have to bring all those struggles together. So thank you very much for listening. Please do everything you can, not just to fight racism, but solidarity with the Palestinians and fight against all wars. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Lindsay German from the Stop the War Coalition, one of the organisers of the massive Palestine protest we've seen over the past year. Okay, our next speaker is from the TUC, the
Thank you. Blue streets! Blue streets! Now that is an incredibly important and meaningful slogan. But as we've seen today, to make it a reality all the time takes hard work, effort and organisation. The trade union movement has always stood at the heart of the fight against racism and anti-fascism, but it hasn't always been an uncontested space for us. So I'm very proud today to be delivering a message of support and solidarity both from the national TUC and my TUC region in London, the East and South East. What we're seeing isn't new in the far right, but we're seeing them find new ways to organise and new ways to mobilise themselves, ways that we have to counter. We have to be getting the message out to our people, but we can't hide from the fact that some of their simple scapegoating is gaining traction outside the small hardcore of fascists. When our unions have been mobilising in force to today, and it's brilliant up here, seeing all the banners stretching down the road, we know how many of our people are turning out, but we also know that when we've been messaging out, we've been getting things back from some of our reps saying people in some of our workplaces are repeating some of the stuff they're picking up from the far right. We've had a few people saying, we've had some of our people say they're marching, but not with us today. And we have to be incredibly aware of that. It's why at TUC Congress, our General Secretary said, and the General Council's statement that was adopted by every single TUC affiliate, 48 unions, said we have to be organising in our workplaces and in our communities. So in our workplaces, that means the training and education that the TUC and our unions are putting on, equipping our reps so they can have those conversations with people. If someone comes and repeats a lie they've heard from the far right, something they've seen on social media, and they say, what about this? Giving our people the ability to counter that in the workplace. And also longer term political education to make sure our reps know who the far right are, know where they're taking their money from and where their views are coming from. And then in our communities, making sure that our trade councils and our local branches are linking with community groups, with anti-racist and anti-fascist campaigners, with faith groups to mean that when the far right do show their ugly heads, we're ready to organise safely and in numbers to put them back in their box. We saw the fantastic response back in August in some areas like Waltham Forest and in Brighton, but we can't hide the fact that there were some areas where we were outnumbered on the streets, and we can't let that happen. We have to put in the work. I started with a slogan, so I'll finish with a slogan. United, we stand. There is no space for division. There are different ways to campaign and organise, but we have to do it together. We've seen the lessons of history when anti-fascists are divided. We cannot allow that to happen. To make our streets safe, to make our workplaces straight, we stand together, we campaign together, and we win together. Have a great march. Let's put them back in the box.
We fight together, we campaign together, we organise together. And I'm going to take our next speaker, the trade unionist again, Unison National Speaker, Jenny Antonio. Please give a warm welcome.
Thank you. I give a message of solidarity from Unison, and including Unison Black Members Self-Organisation and the Black LGBT plus self-organisation. First, before I begin, on a day like this when we're gathered to oppose the far right, I have to say, free, free Palestine. And in the words of the General Secretary of Unison, Christine McAnear, Gaza needs a ceasefire now. It's great to be here with everyone united against racism and fascism, against the terrifying, horrifying events of the last few months. Picture the care worker in Northern Ireland, a Unison member who died following a racist attack and who had endured racist incidents in the preceding weeks. Picture a young woman, hijab-wearing Muslim woman in Bristol, chased in the street by a group of men. Picture a street in Birmingham where shops are closing early, all the while they're offering shelter to people still in the streets. People are going home early from work, and anti-racist counter-protesters are bracing themselves for attack by an organised far-right racist in the middle of a thriving multi-racial city. Sickening mobs of laughing and cheering as buildings housing vulnerable asylum seekers were set on fire. The homes of those judged to be immigrants attacked by street. people targeted and beaten up solely because of the colour of their skin. Mosques attacked and besieged, Islamophobia and planes were all to see, Nazi salutes, racist chants, violent language polluting the streets of many of our towns and cities. Public service workers, including nurses, rushing in to provide emergency cover at a hospital, having missiles thrown at them. They are scenes reminiscent of the past, but given a renewed impetus by social media, fueled by the everyday racism and Islamophobia and anti-Semitism that has entered the language of mainstream politics and the right-wing dominated mainstream press. And there will be those who seek to use this eruption of violence to advance the politics of hate. Whoever you and I are, we deserve to go about our daily business in peace and security. Unison, the whole trade union movement, stand up to racism, and all of us here present today will be there to challenge the right. That means that standing up for these vile people wherever they show up, they do not speak for us. Thank you, in solidarity.
Woo! Thank you so much. Okay, our next speaker is someone that has always stood with some of racism, a long-time supporter, but crucially someone who has always been a brilliant anti-racist fighter. He is from the East London Mosque, who was there when the Evil tried to march through Tower Hamlets and was there to stop them. And he stands with us today again against Robinson and again against the far right and the attacks on Muslims, the attacks on mosques. So I want to give a massive round of applause to Dilla. Welcome.
Assalamu alaikum, peace be upon you all. Good afternoon. Today I'm representing the Muslim Voices. I was the former director of East London Mosque when we actually organized many rallies against the EDL. We tried to march in front of the East London Mosque and intimidate the Muslim community of Tower Hamlets. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone for coming today. You have the courage to confront.
Stand up like that! Stand up like that! Our street! 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 London is anti-fascist! London is anti-fascist! London is anti-fascist! London is anti-fascist! Fascist scum! Off our street! Racist scum! Off our street! Fascist scum! Off our street! Racist scum! Off our street! Fascist scum! Off our street! Racist scum! Off our street! Fascist scum! Off our street! Racist scum! Off our street! Free, free! Free, free! Palestine! 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 Free, free! Palestine!
Still stopping the marching. The cops are still stopping the marching. Anti-fascist! 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 Anti-fascist!
Anti-fascist! Anti-fascist! Anti-fascist! Siamo tutti antifascisti! 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 Su la mano detesta la police! 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 Su la mano detesta la police!
George, come up here.
Off our street! Off our street! Off our street!
Why is that a noteworthy question? Free copy of Joe. Get your free copy of Joe. Apparently Tommy's free copy of Joe. Ready yet? So hopefully they're going to get a little bit frustrated and they'll get your free copy of Joe. You're living What do we do? Stand up, fight back! When our communities are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back! Stand up, fight back! And what do we do? Stand up, fight back! And what do we do? Stand up, fight back! Say I! Say I! I! Say I believe! I believe! Say I believe! I believe! Say I believe that! Bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Antifascist! 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 Stand up, fight back! 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 Siamo tutti antifascisti!
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 Our street!
Our street! Our street! Our street! Our street! Our street! Our street! Our street!
When migrants are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up!
When migrants are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up!
What do we do?
Stand up! Fight back!
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 When migrants are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up! Fight back!
When migrants are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up! Fight back!
And what do we do?
Stand up! Fight back!
And what do we do?
Stand up! Fight back!
And what do we do?
Stand up! Fight back!
And what do we fucking do?
Stand up! Fight back!
Because London is
Anti-fascist!
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 People united!
Will never be defeated!
The people united!
Will never be defeated!
The people united!
Will never be defeated!
The people united!
Will never be defeated!
Say we won't be intimidated! Won't stop till we're liberated!
Won't stop till we're liberated!
We won't be intimidated!
We won't be intimidated!
Won't stop till we're liberated!
liberated.
Won't stop till we're liberated.
Won't stop till we're liberated.
Won't stop till we're liberated.
But we won't be intimidated.
We won't be intimidated.
We won't be intimidated.
We won't be intimidated.
Won't stop till we're liberated.
Won't stop till we're liberated.
Whose streets?
Our streets.
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 Whose motherfucking streets?
Our streets.
When migrants are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up like that.
When migrants are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up like that.
When our communities are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up like that.
When our communities are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up like that.
And what do we do?
Stand up like that.
And what do we do?
Stand up like that.
What do we do?
Stand up like that.
And what do we do?
Stand up like that.
And London is!
Anti-fascist.
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 Fascist scum off our streets! Fascist scum!
Off our streets.
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 Whose streets?
Our streets.
Whose streets?
Our streets.
Whose streets?
Our streets.
Whose streets?
Our streets.
London is!
Anti-fascist.
London is!
Anti-fascist.
London is!
Anti-fascist.
London is!
Anti-fascist.
Fill up yourself with about a 3 minute break. When migrants are under attack, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? When communities are under attack, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? When workers are under attack, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? Woo!
Palestine. Free, free 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 Palestine.
They went to go check.